What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake NBA DFS Early Look. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And of course, I'm from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed below or directly at wisetake.com if you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level. We are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out. Day Pass is available. We offer projections for both sites, cheat sheets, core plays, parlays, fast break, breakdowns, whatever it is. Go check it out. Go get it. Day Pass is $2.50. You can try out the content yourself first. Regardless, if you are watching or listening to this video, podcast, whatever you want to call it, appreciate you. Welcome. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell. You came to the right place. If you are looking for free DFS content as well, we put out all sorts of free content on all the platforms possible: Podbean, iTunes, YouTube, Twitch. Well, Twitch not so much. I guess when we don't go live, it's not Twitch, right? But either way, we appreciate you. We're glad you found us, and we feel you came to the right place. So hit the like button. That really helps us out. Feel free to leave some comments along the way. We'd love to hear some feedback, especially on a show like this, because I'm trying something a little bit different, right? If you notice on the screen, I've got DraftKings and FanDuel both pulled up, and we've tried to make a conscious effort this season to be more balanced with our content. In the past, we've been a little DraftKings centric. We've been FanDuel centric when we started, and then kind of became DraftKings centric. And we're trying to keep that balance. And I personally have been trying to play both, and it's been a lot of fun keeping track of this. And you really realize how different the two sites are when you actually play both. The pricing, the rules, it all matters. Like, for the most part, a good play is a good play, but every now and again, you will find different price points, or you'll find different position restrictions, right? That kind of make a big difference. And it's not always the player, like, it's not always a player is cheap on both sides. Sometimes, player is cheap on both sides, but maybe player B that you like is significantly cheaper on one site, and vice versa. So that's where we're at. I'm going to try something a little bit different, like I said. And on smaller slates, I'd like to go game by game. Matter of fact, I think we can go game by game. So this might be a little while. Bear with me. We're going to start off with the Lakers in Atlanta. We'll go by the DraftKings order. They have them in different orders. So I want to be looking at all these guys, right? And so we know Anthony Davis, LeBron James are questionable. Trae Young is questionable. DeAndre Hunter is out, as far as we know, as far as we see. Looking at DraftKings, Clint Capella is 8.8. How much is he on FanDuel? 8.8 also. He's been a different player, right? Clint Capella. Not the same. Well, I guess lately he's been kind of the same, but we saw the little run he had where, I guess without James Harden, we finally got a chance to see what he can do, what he can contribute. From a pricing standpoint, nothing really stands out unless we got guys out. I mean, even Cam Reddish is 4,800, which isn't bad, but it's not like crazy cheap. 46 on FanDuel. Kevin Huerter at 45 is kind of interesting on FanDuel. How much is he on DraftKings? 5.9. Big difference. So again, an example of the pricing discrepancies. I'm more likely to load up on him over there. Dennis Schroeder in a revenge spot. Could we buy into that? 5.6 and 5.3. He's cheap on both sides. I think I could buy into it, not even so much for the revenge. I just think he maybe is a little bit too cheap. He's kind of already been flirting with what could be 6x production at these prices, right? 27 against Boston, got 33 minutes, 28 minutes. He's playing. I think I do like that for tournaments, right? I think that could be sneaky. Anthony Davis at 9.8 is fine. What is he, 10.3? LeBron is fine. This is a pace-up spot for them. We know these are good situations to load up on guys like that. But I don't see anything too crazy. Let's take a look at Gallinari. Danilo. Maybe right. Rajon Rondo revenge. Maybe not. Gallo's still not playing a ton. They said he's not on a minute limit, and he's still not getting a ton of minutes, which is kind of confusing. But maybe, you know what? If we see him start, we load up. 4,200. I don't think he will because he just hasn't been. But I know that they lifted up his minute restriction, and we know DeAndre Hunter's out, who plays a lot of minutes. Right, so we know that much. So keep it in mind, if he gets more minutes, he is very cheap on FanDuel specifically. It's 4,200. Hunter got 12 minutes in the last game, so that's when he got hurt. And I don't believe Gallinari played big minutes. We just checked that. So it's unlikely, but who knows? Maybe he gets those 12 minutes that Hunter got. So we will see. But kind of interesting. We'll go on to Charlotte, Miami. Keep it moving. Bam Adebayo. Really good spot for Bam. Really good spot for Bam. The price is up on both sides. Jimmy Buckets is back. And his price is back up. Gordon Hayward playing big minutes. I don't mind him on either site. We'll check the status of Tyler Hero, who's currently questionable. LaMelo Ball on FanDuel and DraftKings, they bumped his price up. But this is really where it should be. Even though he had a little slump action, like this is what his upside is. So I keep clicking it on DraftKings. I need to click it on FanDuel. So as we look through it, you can see against Milwaukee what he's capable of. And it looks like maybe he's a hot or cold type dude off the bench. And right now he seems to be pretty hot. So, yeah, I think getting him is perfectly fine. Goran Dragic is questionable. Kendrick Nunn, his status isn't like how much we like him is dependent on the status of Tyler Hero and Goran Dragic in terms of his minutes. Devontae Graham seems like, I don't know, just doesn't seem as impressive. I mean, Ball is knocking at the door to take his spot, and he's not even doing nothing about it. But he is still getting big minutes. I think Rozier was the one who suffered last time from a minute standpoint. Cody Zeller is 5-2 on FanDuel. Cody Zeller has been awesome. How much is he on DraftKings? Because that's really only where we can really consider playing him. 5-3. So his price is up. So much for taking advantage of that. Some interesting options, though. Knicks in Chicago. I know the Knicks are on a back-to-back. You're getting into the 8 o'clock games. Let's take a look. Starting off with Julius Randle. It's a really good spot for Randle, but the price is elevated. It's a big slate, so we'll have to see in context to the position where we think he lies. But on FanDuel, I'm always likely to play him because of the positions, right? RJ Barrett's price is fair, I think, on both sites for the minutes that he plays, right? Only got 30 minutes against the Clippers, but 39, 40 in the 2 games before that. This is a back-to-back. Keep that in mind. Thaddeus Young's been playing out of his mind. Kobe White's been a big disappointment to me. He's been a big disappointment. He had a really good game against Portland, had like 20-something fantasy points at halftime. I finished with a 31. I thought he was going to show us way more ceiling here as a starter. He showed more ceiling off the bench last year. Obviously, it's a good spot for Levine, who's been a consistent 40. So on FanDuel, you can consider him a cash game play anytime the position is weak. Anytime the position is weak, you could look at him as a cash game play on FanDuel. Him, Bradley Beal, all these kind of guys. Lauri Markkanen exploded a little bit against Portland. Don't mind getting some of him, but again, we'll have to look at the context of the slate. He's 6,800 on DraftKings, and a 3-pointer takes you a bit longer, takes you a bit further over there, right? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. CK. Good spot for Mitch Rob. Mitch Rob is 5-2 and 5-3 on FanDuel, 5-2 on DraftKings, 5-3 on FanDuel. Minutes haven't really been an issue. You don't think foul trouble would be a big thing here. And it's just Chicago. Even with Wendell Carter, they struggle against bigs. So this is actually probably a sneaky good spot. I don't even want to call it sneaky. The only reason it's sneaky is because it's a big-ass slate. And people aren't looking to fucking play Mitch Robinson. But interesting spot. You know, Elf Payton and Alec Burks on DraftKings have dropped ridiculously low price-wise. Burks on FanDuel 2 is only 48. The minutes have been down for Burks, which is a little disturbing, but he's still putting up numbers. So I'm comfortable playing him to a degree when he's this cheap, and he's at that point on both sides. I think he's definitely in play against a bad defensive team. Otto Porter is also really cheap. That's just a travesty. Thaddeus Young, what's gotten into him? He's been really taking advantage of the big minutes with the center out. So I think we have to consider Thad if he's going to continue to do this. He was 2 points away from a triple-double. Look at the assist numbers he's putting up the last 2 games. He's been getting extra minutes and taking full advantage. So I think we have to at least have him on our radar, even though I kind of feel like we're buying high at this point on a player like him. Manuel Quickly. I'm just a matter of time before Quickly takes the job from Elf. I don't know what's taking so long. Just a matter of time. Speaking of the devil, Elf is very cheap on both sites, 4,400 on both sites. And the minutes have been awful. Quickly's just taking his job right in front of him, man. So really hard to commit to that, even at a cheap price. Patrick Williams is really cheap, 4,200. And his production has earned him that status, I guess, right? We'll keep it moving. Minnesota, Cleveland. We got, yeah. What do we got? Yeah. There it is. All right. Let's take a look. Looks like Towns is questionable. If Towns is okay, yeah, these teams are playing right now as we speak. Notice how the price drop on DraftKings. D'Angelo Russell is now 7K. He was like a little higher than that. On FanDuel, he's 7-1. Sexton's price increased a little bit. Drummond's price went down on FanDuel, went up on DraftKings, but is now closer, probably to where it should be. If Towns is out, it's a phenomenal spot for Drummond. I mean, it's still a phenomenal spot for Drummond, but if Towns is out especially, we'll check the status of Naz Reid as well, who missed another game. Missed yet another game. Where's Garland at? Garland's only 5-3 on FanDuel. Anthony Edwards, if everybody remains injured, Anthony Edwards has massive upside. He's 5-6 on DraftKings, which is, the upside's kind of leaving. 4,800 on FanDuel, though there's still plenty of meat on the bone. He's inconsistent, but his usage is high. It's just he's very scoring dependent, at least he has been. So that's a little worrisome. But Juancho Hernan-Gomez also is a game-time decision, so they could become a little bit less thin. And if Juancho's in, we'll have to check if any minute limit. But if there isn't, I would imagine there is. He missed a lot of time, right? It's okay. This game looked a lot better on a 4-game slate than it does on a, 10-game slate? Portland, Milwaukee. Where we at here? Giannis is questionable. Coming off a smash burger. Dame is your cash game lock once again on both sides. 10-7, 10K, don't really care. We're playing him with Middleton out in a pace-up spot against a team that likes to give up a lot of three-pointers, which is his specialty. Now, I will say this, Drew Holiday is a big upgrade defensively over Eric Bledsoe. Big upgrade defensively. Nothing against Drew Bledsoe, but Drew Holiday is just very fucking good. One of the best defending point guards in the league. But either way, the usage for Dame has been out of control. And this is a team that encourages three-pointers, which he certainly likes to do. The floor just seems really high. So Dame is our cash game guy. You know what I mean? Cantor's okay for in tournament territory, but nothing great. Middleton at 7-9, I don't mind. There's nothing spectacular here. This game has the potential to be one of the best games of the night, so we'll keep that in mind. Carmelo Anthony. Even without Derrick Jones Jr., got 17 minutes against the Bulls. Pathetic. With Covington back, I think we got to kind of bail, at least on a large scale. Large scale bail. But I see some okay plays. I think Holiday's okay. Cantor on a smaller slate, I'd be all over. On a bigger slate, I would like to see my options first. But Dame is definitely the takeaway. And obviously, now if Giannis is out, we're loading up on Holiday and Middleton. Right? What is his injury? Anyway. Knee. Probable. He's probably going to play. So he would be the other guy. If you're looking in terms of bringbacks, he would be the other guy. Right? But he's obviously very expensive. So if you're going to play Lillard and Giannis, you better have some value in mind. That's what we'll say. Sacramento and New Orleans. Okay, De'Aaron Fox, 8,300. FanDuel finally raised his price to 8,200. Well, DraftKings lowered his price a bit, right? He was like 8.8 for a little while. That was craziness. This is a good spot for New Orleans. Sacramento's been a pretty good team to target fantasy players against. They've been very bad defensively, and the pace has kind of picked up, right? So I could get behind some Zion. It's a really good spot for Zion. It's a good spot for Ingram, but Ingram's been a little more scoring dependent as of late. I do think that Adams is out, so maybe we get some value here. I don't know if he's out. He's questionable. Game time decision. Questionable. So if Adams is in at 5-1, I'm okay with that. He's actually been decent. Right, let's take a look. Before the 23 minutes against Houston, he was horrible, but he did get hurt. Before that, look at the rebounds. 18 rebounds, 20 rebounds, and maybe Cantor's a better play than we let on, right? 20 rebounds against Milwaukee. The difference is Cantor getting 38 minutes. I don't know. But maybe we should, circle back on Cantor at some point. If he's out, then Jackson Hayes is very cheap. Jackson Hayes, 3,600 on FanDuel, 4K on DraftKings, and almost like DraftKings is half expecting it. Jackson Hayes only got 13 minutes against Houston, got 22 FanDuel points. You know, it's funny. I would have thought he would have got more minutes. Did Villy? No, Villy didn't play. I would have thought he would have got more minutes than that. So I guess they would. I guess they play a little bit smaller. They do have Zion. Let's be real. I mean, they have Zion that can play some center minutes, no doubt. He only got 29 minutes. That's strange. We'll have to popcorn machine that before the Wise stream tomorrow. Which, by the way, the Wise stream is our pre-lock live stream that we do for our members at WiseTake.com. Myself and Paulie D hop on Monday through Friday, 45 minutes prior to lock, up to lock, breaking out a slate, talking about news, all that good shit. Again, that comes with a day pass and NBA membership. Anyway, Marvin Bagley has been pretty good outside of this Toronto game. The minutes, though, it's not even his fault. Look at the minutes. Where are they going? Bielitsa has been out, and now he's questionable. Where have they been going? Nicolo O'Malley, is he picking up minutes? He only got 10 minutes. Damn, I got to look at a popcorn machine to figure out what the hell New Orleans did. It's fine, right? I think the New Orleans side a little bit more attractive. I do like Zion, right? Halliburton has been playing really well. You can't really rule him out, right? He's been playing well. And then Buddy Hield, 6,400. He's also kind of been playing well. This is a revenge spot for him if you want to get down. Buddy Hield, I always prefer on DraftKings. He's 6,500, so he should be more expensive on DraftKings because he shoots a lot of threes, and three-pointers are worth more on DraftKings. So anytime that they're on a similar price point and they're $100 apart, I really like Buddy Hield on DraftKings. I can get behind it. Lonzo Ball's been pretty good. He seemed like he was going to do a whole lot better that last game. Then he kind of eased up, slowed down, whatever you want to call it. Right? 27 minutes against Houston. But he's been playing well. I can get behind it. Right? Ball and Fox, that's some narrative action here. I forgot about that. That's the college narrative, right? These two. Fox and Ball. So maybe we play them both. Maybe we do consider a game stack. Anyway, on to the next. We've got Houston, Oklahoma City. I'm going to Christian Wood, still the most expensive player on both sites from the Rockets, and it happens to be in this game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the pricing is pretty close. I'm looking at both sites right now. In this game particularly, the pricing is pretty close to each other. You don't see it like that very often. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's shown some pop, right? He had a little streak where for 3 out of the 4 games he was going for almost 50. And then against Brooklyn, not quite what we're looking for. I'm disappointed in the minutes. 31, 31, 32. I want to see the 36, 38. I thought we were going to get that this year. Haven't really gotten it a ton, but still a decent spot. Oladipo's usage has been good. Revenge spot for him if you want that. John Wall is pretty cheap, I think, for the upside. John Wall is a 9K player, right? The question is the minutes. 26, 29, 24. So they're being cautious with him since he's missed. And that is the problem. That is what makes his price where it is now. I think Horford kind of had a good game, didn't he? I thought I saw Horford in the winning lineup the other day. Only 23 minutes against Brooklyn, and he still went for 38. That was not bad. Not bad, Horford. Not bad at all. I do like Christian Wood. I should have specified that. But let's keep an eye on Boogie. Man, this is a shame, man. When he gets minutes, he just smashes, and that's just it. We just have to wait for Christian Wood to be out and load up on him. But I think FanDuel and DraftKings are better off leaving his price somewhat elevated just in case, because when he does start, he just goes ham. Basley. We like Basley. Paulie D's love child, Basley. I can get behind it. 5-1's a good price. It's a big slate, so I'm sure we're going to like a lot of other players, but 5-1 on both sides, I can get behind it. He's got double-double upside. Doesn't mean he's consistent with it. That's the issue with him. Eric Gordon on FanDuel is okay. Don't love him on DraftKings. Theo Maledon's been really well, man. We got to check the status of George Hill, who is out. George Hill is out. Look at Maledon, 33 minutes, 29 minutes. Maybe he's the reason that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not getting no 38 minutes. How much is Maledon? 4-3 on both sides. I can get behind some Maledon. I could. I definitely could for some value. Hamidou Diallo, if this kid got minutes, I'd play him every day. I would lock him in at this price every day. But the minutes have just been so consistently shitty. And it's a damn shame. With Nwaba out, maybe we see House or Jayshawn Tate play a little extra. Tate has some upside, but the minutes have been a little down, right? How much is Tate? Is four? It's a big pricing discrepancy here. Tate is 4,800 on DraftKings, only 3,900 on FanDuel. So maybe FanDuel is what we're playing, right? Moving on, Phoenix and Dallas. Phoenix and Dallas. Go to the top. Luka Doncic headlining on both sides. Price is similar on both sides. Obviously, with the double-double and triple-double bonuses, he's worth a little bit more on DraftKings. Also, the fact that turnovers are only minus half a point. He's your tournament pivot, right? Because we expect Porzingis to play this game. Porzingis sat the last game for rest. We expect him to play this round. So I think people will pick Dame over him, and that makes Luka a tournament pivot. Not necessarily a great tournament pivot, just he is one. His ownership should be low, relative compared to Lillard, who's in a usage boost. DeAndre Ayton, very good spot. Dallas has been getting smoked by centers, man. Smoked. And I think Ayton himself, just kind of did the dirty to him in 39 minutes. So he's fine. Chris Paul's shown some tremendous upside. His price has come up, especially on DraftKings. But look what he just did to this team. We'll check on the status of Booker, who is a game-time decision. If Booker was to play, he's really cheap on FanDuel. Porzingis, though, on FanDuel is $7K, man. Yeah, he's got to be really popular. If he's not, then I'll be doing backflips because I'll be playing him. I will be playing him. $7K against Phoenix. It's just a good spot. DraftKings 7-6 a little bit more appropriate, and we'll have to see how competitive the position is overall. But on FanDuel, $7K, that's just too cheap for a 7-foot dude. Way too cheap. Jay Crowder's played extremely well without Booker. If Booker were to come back, maybe that impacts him a little bit. But Crowder has been awesome without Booker outside of this most recent game where he didn't play well. He was on a streak, man. 3 straight games of over 30 fantasy points. He was balling. He was. Josh Richardson is another one. He's been back, and his price has been really low. Can I even find him? Then I must have passed him. There's no way he's down here. Shit, I guess he is down here. Josh Richardson is 3,800. He's 3,800. Oh, man. 35 minutes with no Porzingis and did shit. But again, we know what he's capable of. So I think he'll be owned. I'm not saying he's going to be chalk per se, but he'll be owned. Let's keep it rolling. Memphis, San Antonio. Great spot for John Morant, but he just played this team and kind of just fell short of what we were looking to get from him at a cheaper price. Now his price is elevated, but he has destroyed this team in the past, going for 60 burgers, I think, against the Spurs. DeMar DeRozan, I wonder what his ownership is going to be because he's still really cheap on both sides, and he's coming off of probably the worst game we've seen from him, maybe ever. But that was a back-to-back. It was a 4-6 situation, right? Or at least a 3-4. Maybe I would be willing to bet he does a little bit better this time around. So I do like DeRozan. DeJounte Murray, however, he's the one I'm on the fence with. The DraftKings, you're getting a better price at 6-6, especially for the double-double, triple-double bonus. This is a really good spot for guards. John Morant, not known for his defense. I think the question here is how is Derek White being back going to impact DeJounte Murray? And we did see Derek White play alongside DeJounte Murray at times, but we also saw DeJounte Murray's minutes did come down under 30. Now, that could have been because of the back-to-back. But we will have to keep an eye on it, right? Brandon Clark is okay. His price is 6'2" on DraftKings, 6'4" on FanDuel. Nothing spectacular. LMA looked like he was going to break the slate at first, and then he did what he does best and disappeared. 26 at 26. FanDuel's always tempting you to play him at 5'6". DraftKings has now joined the party at 5'5", but it looks like they're moving on from him. It really does. I don't blame him either, man. Like, how could you when Keldon Johnson over here is, playing better? Night in, night out. I do like Keldon Johnson. He's cheap on both sides. 5'7" and 5'4". Dylan Brooks. Let's talk about Dylan Brooks for a second here. Had a streak of nothing. Remember, Memphis is pretty rested, right? They didn't play for 11 days, and then they did play one game and had a day off. So they're pretty rested. Tillman ended up getting there because he was extremely cheap last time out. He's not as cheap anymore. He only got 21 minutes overall, so there's some concern. He is now 5'1" and 4'8". I don't think he's as much of a lock, but still probably a pretty decent play. Now, it depends, of course, how the slate breaks out, what other value we have to compare him to. But something to keep an eye on. Finally, Detroit, Denver, a 9 o'clock Eastern late night hammer. Jokic could do some dirty things to Detroit. The problem is that Detroit hang around enough. Does Detroit hang around enough to give Denver the opportunity to do that? Because Jokic is in a phenomenal spot. Jamal Murray's in a phenomenal spot. And Jokic's ownership, because of Lillard, could end up being pretty low. Jeremy Grant, revenge spot, right? He's kind of come back down to earth a little bit lately. But we saw the numbers he was putting up, and if you don't think he's going to try to come out here and do some things here, you're mistaken. Doesn't mean he will. But I'm saying he's going to try. Michael Porter Jr. is only 5'6" on FanDuel, 6'5" on DraftKings. Another price discrepancy here. I know he's been playing like shit, but we know what he's capable of upside-wise. I do like Michael Porter Jr. on FanDuel. DraftKings at 6'5", it's like, why would I want to play him there if I could play him at 5'6" on FanDuel? So I'll probably get most of my exposure there. Blake the Snake, it's a shame what happened to him. I really don't know what happened to him. I guess he's just wearing down. Is that it? Derrick Rose is really cheap on DraftKings, 4.7. He's 5K on FanDuel, which is cheap. But 4.7 on DraftKings is really cheap, but the minutes have been down. Maybe if this game is competitive, he gets pushed a little bit more, but it's hard to envision it. I do think in tournaments is worth trying, because if it works out, you're in a pretty good spot. Paul Millsap, 4.4 on DraftKings, 4.1 on FanDuel. Don't mind it for value. But this game's kind of interesting. How much is Barton over here on FanDuel? Oh, Gary Harris got hurt. That's right. So maybe we could be looking for value at Monte Morris, because Monte Morris, I think, started the second half with Gary Harris out. 25 minutes for Morris. I went for 21. Monte Morris, keep an eye on Gary Harris' status. One, for the usage of his players around him. We'll have to check and see what it does. And two, because we need the value in Monte Morris. If we think he's going to get more minutes at these prices, we can get down. 3,800 on FanDuel, 39 on DraftKings. Flip that around. 3,800 on DraftKings, 39 on FanDuel. Something to keep an eye on. Who else did I see down here? It's all guards. It's a shame also what's going on with Will Barton. Will Barton is 4K on FanDuel. 4K. He played 37 minutes against Utah. He's really probably the true benefactor, right? I mean, I don't see Will Barton's probably going to be 100% on, like 80% on FanDuel. Where 4,800 on DraftKings, he'll be popular, but not as much. FanDuel at 4K, he's going to be in like everybody's lineup, so he should be your chalk of the day, and rightfully so. Assuming he stands to benefit, which it looks like 37 minutes he got against Utah on Sunday. 37 minutes. That looks to me like he benefited the most from Harris being out. That's what it looks like. But anyway, that's going to do it, Nation. Hopefully, you like this version of the first look. Leave me some feedback in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter, whatever the case is. Let me know what your thoughts are if you like this format. Again, trying to cater and cover both. And, I feel like a lot of people that do these YouTube shows and free shows don't do that. So I'm trying to do it, right? But either way, appreciate y'all. Let me get out of here. Hit the like button on your way out. Leave a comment. Go check us out at WiseTake.com. Make sure you subscribe, notifications bell on. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck. Yeah.